What's up everybody, and welcome to another video with the Georgia Assassin. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about getting your deer mounted. So I've never had a deer mounted all these years. I've been killing deer since I was 8 or 9 years old, and I've never had one mounted. Just never really been into it, but you know, I killed a couple nice ones yesterday. I'm actually going to get the older one, the 4-year-old, mounted. So starting to go through the process, learned a lot of stuff yesterday about, you know, how it goes, what I need to do, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to talk to you about it today. Hopefully help some of you out who have questions about getting your first deer mounted. Let's go. So the first thing you need to know, or first thing that I learned, is if you are going to take your deer to the processor to have it mounted, or potentially may have it mounted, when you gut your deer, do not cut past the brisket with your saw. Normally I like to take my limb saw and cut way up into the chest cavity, like, you know, all the way to here, a few good rips, and it's just easier to get my hands in there and get everything out. So you can't do that, or you should not do that if you're planning on getting the deer mounted. So what I did yesterday is I stopped pretty much right where the ribs meet the center of the chest, right where it starts. I didn't cut into any of it, and that worked out because I thought they caped deer pretty much behind the front shoulders. Well, they didn't do that to mine yesterday. They took it all the way back to the rear quarters. So something different. I mean, they said the taxidermist, the more skin the better. So that's something really important to remember. When you gut your deer, don't cut into the chest. Just cut the stomach area, and then you'll have to reach your hands inside the deer cavity to get the heart and the lungs out, and to cut the esophagus. The next thing you'll have to decide is, do you have room in your freezer to hold your deer head? They take up a lot more room than you imagine or think they do. Not just the antlers, but you've got the head on as well. So that's the next thing to think about. Trying to keep this GoPro down so everybody's not looking at me crazy thinking it's a phone or something. So yeah, you're gonna have to consider room in your freezer, because the head takes up a lot more space than what you would think. So another thing is that some processors are a taxidermist drop spot, meaning that they'll just, you know, they'll keep the head, they'll call the taxidermist and have the taxidermist come out and pick it up. Then you don't have to worry about putting it in your freezer. A couple things could come up with that. Normally, if a processor is tied in with a taxidermist and they're coming to their shop picking up their heads, you know, it helps the taxidermist get more business. But the deer processor is going to have to get a cut of something. You know what I mean? There's going to be some exchange there for that service that they're providing you, and for the references to the taxidermist. So I opted out of that. They tried really hard to push me on a taxidermist, which I've heard is a very, very, very good one. I mean, I know Chipper Jones gets his deer done there, but needless to say, it's pretty expensive. So the average that I could find in Georgia, North Georgia, around Canton, Cartersville, Ellijay, is about $265 to around $500 for a deer mount. So the guy at the processor was trying to push me on one, and you know, he kind of avoided, you know, what I asked him, well, how much is it? He told me, you know, he's the best there is and all that good stuff. and then he said he was in the $500 to $600 range. And I asked him, well, how long was the turnover rate, and he said probably 4 to 6 months. So I told him pretty much it's going to take me 4 to 6 months to save up enough spare money to pay for that deer mount, having to pay that kind of money. So I opted to take my deer head, and that is when I figured out that the deer heads are actually a lot bigger and take up a lot more space than what you'll think. Because I thought to myself, I was like, oh yeah, we got plenty of room. Then I started trying to put it in there. It wasn't easy, but I got it in there though. And the next thing that you got to think about is if you take your head, I mean, if you've got the money, just let him keep it. If you don't have the room in your freezer, let him keep it and just pay the money. That's what I would do. But you're gonna probably think you got plenty of room, and you actually won't have as much as you think you're gonna have, and then you'll just have to throw some stuff away like I did. So now I have been on the journey today of finding a taxidermist. They told me about several, but you know, I like to be able to pick my own based on, you know, the factors that are unique to me: the money, locality. The getting it back isn't such a big deal, but from what they're telling me, that they're pretty well booked out, all taxidermists, from anywhere from 12 to 16 months, give or take, which is a pretty long time, but didn't really stress that. That doesn't bother me that much. So Saturday, I'm gonna pull the deer head out of the freezer, the caped deer head, and I'm gonna take it to a taxidermist in Ellijay, Georgia. So I've had some family members that have taken the deer there for several years, and that is my plan, to go up there and get that done. Yeah, I've had several family members take deer to this taxidermist, so I am gonna follow suit and take it up there. I think he's gonna charge roughly between $265 to $330. Depends on how much work they got to do on the hide. You know, if they got to do any sewing, which they will, a little bit, from where that broadhead came through, depending on how much skin they need. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep you too long. This is gonna be a short video. I just wanted you to know, for those of you who don't know or have not had a deer mounted, some of the things that you may come into problem-wise, and kind of what you can expect. So there you go. Whenever I get my deer back from the processor, I will be sure to do a follow-up, or from the taxidermist, I will be sure to do a follow-up video for you guys and let you check it out. Well, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so. I have a lot more videos to come, and I will see you on the next one.